What up, people? Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out in about a week and I'm beyond excited. Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, so hearing that Larian Studios is making another game piqued my interest. I passed on playing the early access because I wanted my first time playing to be with a full game, and now that the time is so close, I can't wait. But unlike me, maybe you don't know much about the game or why you should care about it. Well, I'm here to help with that. If you're new to the channel, I make videos on single player games with a heavy focus on RPGs. If that's something that interests you and you end up enjoying the video, consider subscribing. But enough of all that, here are the top 10 reasons you should be excited for Baldur's Gate 3. The first reason to be excited is the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is a standalone title. What that means is that you won't have to play Baldur's Gate 1 or 2 in order to understand the story of 3. I personally love this because, as I've said numerous times, there's nothing more discerning than wanting to play a new game but having to get through 3 or 4 other games just to get to it. The developers have said that there will be a few nods and tie-ins to the first 2, but nothing major. I'll probably end up watching some story recaps on YouTube before the game comes out, so maybe just do that. Next up might be a reason not a lot of you care about, but it's the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 will have cross-save enabled. Now, to be clear, I'm talking about cross-save and not cross-play. The game won't have any cross-play at launch, meaning you'll have to get the game on the same system as your friends for co-op. But if you're playing the game by yourself, that won't matter much to you. Like I said, cross-save is important to me personally because seeing how Baldur's Gate will be available on PC and PS5, being able to play on my TV and my gaming laptop seamlessly will be really nice. Okay, at 3 we have character creation. Character customization in Baldur's Gate 3 expands beyond simple aesthetic choices, but creates the personality and the core of the character, which will in turn affect the game. The game will react to your character combination based on your race, background, and class. This will further affect your available abilities, proficiencies, dialogue options, and how your character interacts with different environments and personalities in the game, along with the success rate of their interactions. How you create your character will determine how the game reacts to you. Even though I personally didn't take advantage of it, I really like the character options in Divinity Original Sin 2, and many people who've been playing the early access of Baldur's Gate these past years have said it's been improved in a variety of ways. I'm really looking forward to seeing how my and other people's playthroughs are altered based on our appearances. While on the subject of customization, the detail of the classes in Baldur's Gate 3 is the next reason to be excited. On launch, you'll have 12 classes to choose from, ranging from Barbarian to Wizard, so it should be easy to find a class that suits your playstyle. And to really hone in on the specific way you want to fight, there will also be 46 subclasses to choose from as well. Subclasses determine your character's abilities, aptitudes, and how they will develop as they increase in level. Each available class in the game will split into a number of subclasses. Most classes will have 3 available subclass options, while others like the Cleric and Wizard will have more. There's also multi-classing, which means that after each level you'll have the option to choose a different class to spend points on and begin building a multi-class character. Between classes, subclasses, and multi-classing, there are so many combinations of builds you can create that it almost feels endless. And don't worry, Baldur's Gate 3 heavily promotes experimenting, so if the build you currently have is trash, there will be an NPC in Act 1 that will help you respec. So just have fun and try stuff out. Larian Studios has made some huge claims when it comes to story and the choices you make during it. One of those claims being that the script for the game has over 2 million words and will be available in 13 languages with subtitle support. Now, to some, that may seem unnecessary, but for someone like me, who's big on story and characters, this is extremely exciting. Disco Elysium is another RPG I was recently playing, and it has about 1 million words in it, and I love it for that. While there are a few times I was fast forwarding through some dialogue, for the most part, those extended conversations I had really made me feel like I was getting to know these characters, and if Baldur's Gate 3 can do that to even half of the ability of Disco Elysium, then we're in for something really special. Sticking on story for a little bit, Baldur's Gate 3 is also said to have over 174 hours of cinematics. Now, does that mean that the story is 174 hours long? No. It means that between all the different cutscenes you can see based on having certain characters in your party, it will all equal up to around 174 hours. Again, as someone who really appreciates a dense and well-written narrative, this is something I am really excited to see. Larian Studios also said that there will be over 17,000 different ending variations. Emphasis on variations. Now, just like I said in regards to cinematics, this doesn't mean that there's going to be 17,000 dramatically different endings. It's been said by others that the high number will most likely derive from the characters you pick, the moral decisions you make, the weapon and armor you choose to utilize, etc. While that number does feel like it was just said to get people hyped, even having over 100 different variations will be impressive, but having 17,000 just shows the work and passion that went into making this game. The playtime of Baldur's Gate 3 is said to range from 80 to 200 hours depending on how much you want to do in the game. One of the reasons I love RPGs is that I feel like there's usually a good ratio between cost and hours played. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure we can all think of a few games and franchises that add unnecessary tasks and missions to boost playtime hours. However, I never felt that while playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Every mission I played was either important to the story or just plain fun to do, and I'm sure Baldur's Gate 3 will be the exact same. Now the next reason might not apply to all of you, but hopefully it'll apply to most of you, but it's the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is Steam Deck compatible. Like I just mentioned earlier, I love RPGs because of how much playtime you can get out of them, but it would be nice if some of that playtime didn't involve staring at a monitor or TV screen. And that's where the Steam Deck comes in. With this game possibly reaching in the 200s in playtime, being able to play on the go or just in the comfort of your bed is something I'm sure a lot of gamers would want. I've written off the Steam Deck for a long time, but I'll probably pull the trigger to play this game specifically, and I'm positive I won't regret it. The final reason you should be excited for Baldur's Gate 3 is the game's extremely high incentive for replayability. If you've seen any of my other videos, which you totally should by the way, they're like really good, then you know I'm someone who's big on getting a good bang for your buck. With subscription services becoming more prevalent and AAA games increasing in price, I want to feel like I'm getting the most out of the money I'm spending. And between the class options available, the size of the dialogue, the cutscenes, the 100+ playtime, and the vast amount of endings promised, Baldur's Gate 3 almost demands you play the game more than once. There's a lot of hype right now for this game, and Larian Studios really took its time to make sure this game delivered on all of it. And while it may not win Game of the Year, when it comes down to value and making a game that fans will want to keep playing well past its initial release date, very few games this year can compete with Baldur's Gate 3. Alright, that's all I got for you today. Are you going to be picking up Baldur's Gate 3? Let me know in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're looking for some other RPG recommendations, I recently made a video showcasing the top 10 RPGs released so far this year. If you want to check that out, click the link on the screen. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with the channel. Later.